The Grand Canyon is one of the most spectacular natural wonders in the world, but few people understand how it was formed. The Colorado River, which runs through the canyon, has been slowly carving it out over millions of years. The river acts like liquid sandpaper, wearing down the rock over time. However, in 1963, the Glen Canyon Dam was built, stopping the natural erosion process. Since then, sediment has been building up in Lake Powell, the reservoir created by the dam. Today, with the lake at just 23% capacity, the sediment is exposed and forming mud glaciers, which are moving towards the dam at a rate of 100 feet or more per day. These mud glaciers could pose serious threats to the water supply of the Southwest. They could eventually create a blockage that prevents water from flowing downriver and could even endanger the structural integrity of the dam. Despite these dangers, the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation, the federal agency in charge of managing water in the West, wants to keep the reservoir because it wants to keep the dam's electricity-generating turbines working. However, if the water level drops another 30 feet, the turbines will become useless. The Bureau has suggested creating new outlets for lake water at lower elevations in the dam to keep the turbines working, but the only modification that would actually solve the sediment problem is to bore 2 tunnels at the base of the dam, allowing sediment to pass downstream. This would kill the reservoir but ensure the security of the water supply. The Bureau has discussed this option but has not further considered it. It's time to abandon Lake Powell and store its water in Lake Mead instead, which is currently at 28% capacity. With Lake Powell at just 23% capacity, abandoning it would not have a significant impact on the water supply, but it would protect the Southwest from the potential dangers of the mud glaciers. In addition, as the lake has shrunk, various side canyons of Glen Canyon have reappeared, offering a glimpse of the thriving place of beauty and life that once existed there. River raft guides have been among the first to pay attention to the delta. As the reservoir level dropped, mud flats were exposed, making camping difficult. But as the deposits flushed downstream, the banks became inviting places to pitch tents, and the once buried rapids in Cataract Canyon began re-emerging. Scientists have studied the sediment, and the Returning Rapids Project, a non-profit organization, has placed cameras to film the erosion, making time-lapse images. Slabs of sediment have been seen calving off and crashing into the river to be carried away to the reservoir. The Bureau of Reclamation regularly monitored sediment in the early years of the reservoir, but it stopped in the wet years of the 1980s, saying it would take 700 years for Lake Powell to fill with soil. For the Bureau, the sediment has become a problem they would like to ignore, said Eric Balkin, the executive director of the Glen Canyon Institute. The core mission of the Institute is to see Lake Powell emptied and Lake Mead kept as full as possible. No one knows for certain the lifespan of Lake Powell, given the twin crises of climate change and water demand. However, it's clear that Lake Powell needs to be abandoned to protect the water supply and prevent the potential dangers of the mud glaciers. It's time to let the Colorado River run free in Glen Canyon again and restore the thriving place of beauty and life that once existed there.